Hello, and welcome again to my Inspirational Ingrid channel. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all doing fabulous. I had a very good weekend because it was my birthday weekend. So I'm very happy to be back because I didn't actually do a post today. So I'm glad that I'm actually back doing one of my weekly episodes. So this is episode 32 and it's Let's Talk About the Zelophehad Daughters. Let's talk about the Zelophehad daughters. Okay, so if you've been actually joining me or you haven't joined me at all and this is your first time, I've actually been doing a walk and a series in the Bible talking about women in the Bible. Okay, and it talks about how their lives actually reflect our lives today. So if you can actually see any similarities to your own life, then just go back in the Bible and read the stories. But also please go back and have a look at the other episodes as well. So please like, share and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because like I said, this always helps me out. So guys, here I am in episode 32. So like I said, I've started with women like Eve, Sarah, Hagar. Let's have a look at some of the others I've done. I've done Rebecca, Rachel, Leah, Dinah, Tamar, Bathsheba, Zipporah, Miriam, Deborah, Hannah. All these amazing women, the queens. I've done Queen Esther, the Queen of Sheba. I've done the Shunammite woman. I've done Samson's mother, Delilah, Queen Jezebel. Who else have I done? Lot's wife. And last week I did the widow of Zelophehad. So I'm actually doing the main women that we know in the Bible, but I'm also doing the other women that I mentioned too. If I can actually find them and dig them out, I will actually do some of the other women too. So I'm not actually doing it in any kind of genealogy order or chronological order. I'm actually going in and out of the Bible, just talking about any woman that comes to my mind, any woman that God puts on my heart. Okay, so like I said, these are the daughters of Zelophehad, the 5 daughters of Zelophehad. Okay, so who are the daughters in episode 32? All right, so the daughters of Zelophehad, right, are 5 Israelite young women, and the names were Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. They're quite hard to say. You know me and my words, yeah? And their father was actually called Zelophehad. Yeah, Zelophehad, meaning the reason why they're actually called the daughters of Zelophehad. Yeah, the daughters of Zelophehad. Their father was actually called Zelophehad. And where they actually lived, near Moab, near the Jordan River. So if you know where the Jordan River is, this is where they actually lived nearby. So I've actually got the meanings of all their names. So let's have a look. Mahlah means sickness or disease, which is not a very nice name. Noah actually means movement or rest or comfort. And as you know, Noah as in Noah's Ark. Okay, but this is Noah for a girl. Hoglah means circle or dancing. Milcah means queen or council. And Tirzah means delight or pleasantness. I think she's actually got one of the nicest names, actually, Tirzah. So anyway, in brief, the daughters of Zelophehad successfully asked Moses and the leaders of Israel if they could actually inherit their father's land, because their father Zelophehad had actually died. And so they wanted to ask if they could actually have the inheritance of their land, which is for them. But traditionally, in those days, women didn't really have rights and women weren't actually given land. Okay. So I think I've spoken about these women before. So women at the time, it was only the sons that actually inherited land. It wasn't actually the daughters. So women really didn't have much rights in those days, okay, according to the law. All right. So this is actually the actual story. And the actual story actually stems from the Exodus. So if you can remember when Moses and the Israelites did an exodus from Egypt. Okay, so this is the time when they're now traveling in the wilderness. And the 5 daughters of Zelophehad, their father actually died in the wilderness because of his sin. So they're now about to enter the promised land. All right. And Moses is actually dividing up the promised land, to all the 12 tribes of Israel. And these girls actually come from Manasseh. Manasseh was the son of Joseph, as you know. So Joseph and Joseph's sons actually got their own inheritance. Okay, so now the daughters along the lineage, okay, are about to ask for their inheritance, which their father Zelophehad should have had. See, I told you it's really difficult. It's really difficult, but bear with me, guys. So this is actually the history. Okay, so like I said, they're about to enter the promised land. They haven't yet, but they're about to enter. Okay, and this is what it starts from. So the 5 daughters of Zelophehad actually have scriptures in the Bible in Numbers 27, Numbers 36, Joshua 17, and Chronicles number 7. All right, so I'm actually going to start shortly. So like I said, there are 6 main characters. So there's the 5 Zelophehad daughters and Moses as well in this story. Okay, so I'm actually going to start in Numbers 26 verse 33, and it says, Zelophehad the son of Hepher had no sons but daughters, and the names of the daughters of Zelophehad were Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. Okay, so I'm going to now go to Numbers chapter 27, and I'm going to read from verse 1 to verse 5. Okay, so this is Numbers 27, and it says, the daughters of Zelophehad, son of Hepher, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, belonged to the clans of Manasseh, son of Joseph. The names of the daughters were Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. They came forward and stood before Moses, Eleazar the priest, the leaders, and the whole assembly of the entrance to the tent of meeting, and said, our father died in the wilderness. He was not among Korah's followers who banded together against the Lord. He died for his own sin and left no sons. Why should our father's name disappear from his clan? Because he had no son. Give us property among our father's relatives. So Moses brought their case before the Lord. So this is Numbers 27 verses 1 to 5. So here you can see the 5 daughters, okay? They are very sad now. So the daughters together go towards the tent of meeting. This is where Moses and all the elders of the Israelites are. So these are the big bosses, yeah, okay? The elders in the clan of the whole Israelite army, or the whole Israelite assembly. So these daughters go to meet at the tent. And normally this is something that women wouldn't actually do. So this is why I see them as quite brave and quite courageous. They're quite strong women, quite probably like, you know, women of wisdom probably, because they know the laws, don't they? They know the laws and they know what they can actually ask for, even if they don't get it, but they're going to ask anyway. All right. So like I said, they're at the entrance of the meeting. They basically said that their father was a good man. He died because of his own sin, not because he didn't follow the Lord. So basically they're saying that their father Zelophehad actually followed the Lord. He actually followed the Lord. So he was actually a good man that followed the Lord. The only reason why he died was because of his own sin. Okay, this is what they're saying. So they're saying, because our father didn't have sons, why should we lose out on our inheritance? So now this is what Moses does. Moses seeks the Lord. Moses seeks the Lord first. The Bible also tells us to seek first the kingdom of God, and all things will be added unto you. All right. So remember, the girls couldn't go to God themselves, because in those days there was always a prophet or somebody that actually spoke to God, and it was Moses. Moses was the one that was anointed to speak to God, the only one. And so they actually confronted Moses and asked him. And Moses didn't make a decision to these girls, these 5 young girls. Moses listened tentatively to the 5 young women. And he said, you know what? I'm going to ask God about this. I'm going to ask God about this. Okay. So Moses does exactly what the Bible actually tells all of us to do. I just want to put that in the picture. This is what Moses did for clarity, okay? So I'm going to now read from Numbers 27, verse 6 to verse 11. And it says, "And the Lord said to him," which is Moses, "What Zelophehad's daughters are saying is right. You must certainly give them property as an inheritance among their father's relatives and give their father's inheritance to them. Say to the Israelites, if a man dies and leaves no son, give his inheritance to his daughter. If he has no daughter, give his inheritance to his brothers. If he has no brothers, give his inheritance to his father's brothers. If his father had no brothers, give his inheritance to the nearest relative in his clan, so that he may possess it. This is to have the force of law for the Israelites, as the Lord commanded Moses." So as you can see, God has actually honoured the 5 daughters of Zelophehad. Can you believe that? God told Moses what these 5 young ladies said is right. They know the law. They actually know the law. And for them to take the courage to confront Moses so that Moses would actually go to seek the Lord on this issue, the Lord has come back and said, yes, I believe it's right. Yes, I believe they should inherit their father's property because the father didn't have any sons. They are the father's daughters. So the property should belong to them. And it says that, and now God has actually made the law. So look, God has now made another law and given it to Moses. But do you see, men and women who say, right, that women do not have equal rights in the Bible, I beg to differ. I beg to differ. Do you know why? I have actually done 32 episodes of women in the Bible so far, starting with Eve, like I said before, and women had rights according to God before. Even Eve had rights right at the beginning. She had a choice to make. She obviously made the wrong choice, when she had the fruit, when she listened to the serpent, she made a wrong choice. But God has given each woman a choice. And as you can see, he's actually given some of the women equal rights. Because if you go back and look at the other women that I spoke about, there were judges like Deborah, queens that actually changed the laws. So come on, guys. Don't put women down. Don't put women down. Women are very important in the Bible. Very, very important. And here we have these 5 daughters, okay? So God has actually changed the rights because of these 5 women. He's actually changed the law. He's changed the trajectory, and the laws to ensure that women had equal share in certain activities. And here we can see that now it's precedent that these 5 women and all the women in Israel now have equal rights to their father's inheritance, especially if their fathers had no sons. This is amazing. I love it. I love God. He just loves women. He just loves women. And if you can remember, Jesus loved women too. I've been saying it. When Jesus came to earth, he rebuked many people, right, for these women. He rebuked, I'm not the 5 Zelophehad daughters. I'm talking about any women. Because he loved them and he wanted to save them. He cared for them. He nurtured them. He came to save all sinners. Anyone that would receive the Father. Anyone, guys. So, let's have a look. Let's have another look. Okay, so what are we looking at? Okay. We just go down here. My computer seems to have frozen. It seems to have frozen. All my words that I've put down. So anyway, let's go to Joshua, right? Joshua chapter 17, verses 3 to 6. And Joshua actually says the same thing as Numbers 27. It actually says the same thing. Let's read. So this is Joshua 17, verses 3 to 6. And it says, "Now Zelophehad, son of Hepher, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, had no sons but only daughters, whose names was Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tizar. They went to Eleazar the priest, Joshua son of Nun, and the leaders and said, "The Lord commanded Moses to give us an inheritance among our relatives." So Joshua gave them an inheritance along with the brothers of their father according to the Lord's command. Manasseh's share consisted of 10 tracts of land besides Gilead and Bashan, east of the Jordan, because the daughters of the tribe of Manasseh received an inheritance among the sons. The land of Gilead belonged to the rest of the descendants of Manasseh. So can you see that? It's actually quite similar in what it says. Not quite, but, near enough. But it actually goes a bit deeper. Joshua actually goes a bit deeper. But I'm going to jump back to Numbers, all right? So it actually says the 5 daughters did actually get the land of Gilead. No, did not actually get the land of Gilead, and that was given to the rest of Manasseh's descendants. But they got all the other land. So the only land they didn't get was Gilead and probably Bashan. But they got everything else. Remember, the land was actually divided up. So each tribe actually got different parts of land. But that part they didn't actually get. But I'm going to go back to Numbers now. So Numbers chapter 36 verse 6 says, "This is the thing which the Lord does command concerning the daughters of Zelophehad, saying, let them be married to whom they think best. Only into the family of the tribe of their father shall they be married." Now, let me get on to this one. Ladies and men out there. Oh, look, I've got a long bit of straying hair there. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you, right, that we talk about arranged marriages, guys, arranged, right? I want you to check out what it says in Numbers 36, verse 6. "This is the thing which the Lord does command concerning the daughters of Zelophehad, saying, let them be married to whom they think best." Underline, underscore. Most of the women we know, their marriages are normally arranged. Quite clearly here, God is saying that these women who have actually now inherited their father's land can now marry who they wish, except, it says, except only into the family of the tribe of their father shall they be married. So that means that they can marry who they want, but it's got to be their father Zelophehad's tribe. The tribe of Manasseh, the tribe of Joseph. Now, come on. And if you remember going back to the tribe of Joseph, remember Joseph did very well. He did very well, didn't he? He was second in command in the palace, if you can remember, in Egypt. Yeah. So this is where these young ladies come from. I just wanted to make it clear there, because sometimes we don't catch things in the Bible. We read really quickly, but we miss some major points, right? They can marry who they wish. Numbers 36 verse 10, "The daughters of Zelophehad did as the Lord commanded Moses." Numbers 36 verse 11, "For Mahlah, Tizar, and Hoglah, and Milcah, and Noah, the daughters of Zelophehad, were married to their father's brothers' sons." So they were married to their father's brothers' sons. So in actual fact, they were married to their cousins. Yeah, because their father's brother would be their uncle. So they married their uncle's sons, which is actually their cousins, in actual fact. Okay? This is who they married. So the 5 daughters of Zelophehad. Okay, let's have a look. My computer's really playing up today. It's not playing ball. Okay, so let's just refresh it. So what am I saying about these daughters now? Oh, actually, okay. So, oh goodness, this has really gone funny now. It doesn't like it. It doesn't like it, guys. It doesn't like me moving it. Right, so I don't know what's going on here. Help me out, please. My computer's having a moment and I've got all my notes on it. I've got all my notes on it, guys. But it's having a bit of a moment. Maybe it's because I'm getting too excited. Oh, dear. Okay. Let's move it over here. Maybe it'll work over here. Right. Sorry about that, guys. I had a call coming in, and so I lost you there for a second. So, as I was saying, I'm trying to find out where I am. Yeah. So it was saying that the 5 daughters were not ordered to marry out of their tribe, so that the land would stay within the family bloodline. Okay, this is what it's actually saying. And then it goes on to Numbers 36, verse 2. And they said, the Lord commanded my Lord to give the land for inheritance by lot to the children of Israel. And my Lord was commanded by the Lord to give an inheritance of the Zelophehad of the daughters. Yeah. Okay, let me just get this off. I think I've got a virus or something, guys. Okay. Right, so 1 Chronicles chapter 7 verse 15 says, and Micaiah took a wife of Huppim and Shuppim, whose sister's name was Makkah. Remember, I've spoken about Makkah before. And the name of the second was Zelophehad, and Zelophehad had daughters. See? Did you see that? 1 Chronicles chapter 7 verse 15 said, and Micaiah, which was actually talked about in Numbers, took a wife of Huppim and Shuppim, whose sister's name was Makkah. Okay, and the name of the second was Zelophehad, and Zelophehad had daughters. Now, if you've actually been watching all my series, you can actually see the lineage now. Because you remember I spoke about Makkah before. You remember that? I can't remember what episode it was, but I have spoken about Makkah before. So here you can see. Now, the girls, the daughters of Zelophehad, actually lived quite close together near the Jordan River. All right. So, like you said, Marla, and her name is kind of, you know, I can't remember what Marla's name meant, but Marla was actually near the Jordan Valley. What's it called? It was called Abel Melahah. I think I've spoken about this before. Abel Melahah. And Abel Melahah, I think actually means water or something like that. It actually means something to do with water. All right. So this is a strip of land that's actually near the Jordan Valley on the western foothills of Samaria. This is where it is, on the western foothills, okay? So this is this one. So you've got Tazar, right? She's actually at the north of Tel El Farah. You've got Milcah, right? Milcah, which is at Yehud or Yehuda, right? And you've got Hoglah, which is at Yeset or Yesid, all right? So there's 4 daughters that are mentioned. 4 of them are actually mentioned, right? So you've got Marla, Tazar, Milcah, and Hoglah, which was actually shown on a map, right? But the only one that wasn't actually mentioned was Noah. Noah territory on the border map was not actually mentioned, but only Marla, Tazar, Milcah, and Hoglah, which I find very interesting. So it's like, what happened to Noah? What actually happened to Noah in this case? Yeah. So it's the question here. It says that the daughters actually settled in a cluster. So you can see them on a map. It kind of goes like that in a cluster. So you've got Marla, Tazar, Milcah, and Hoglah. So it kind of goes in a curve, but we can't actually see where Noah is. We can't actually see where Noah is, right? So again, I just wanted to remind you that this is the family of Manasseh, the family of Manasseh, all right? And this is the lineage that they came from, right? And so, like I said, the lineage goes all the way to Jesus Christ, okay? All the way. All the way to Jesus Christ, it does. And so what we could also see here, all right, what we can also see is that because the lineage actually goes to Jesus Christ, and it's funny because most of the women in my episodes actually show that the lineage goes to Jesus Christ. I can't actually say how many of the women. You would have to go back and watch each episode just to actually have a look how they all escalate. But everything comes back to Jesus, everything. So believers out there, when you kind of question things and you look in the Bible, all the way from the Old Testament to the New Testament, Jesus is mentioned all the time. Even before he was actually born, he's mentioned. He's actually mentioned in the beginning as well. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, right? So let's have a look. Why does everything revolve around Christ? It says in John chapter 14, verse 6, it said, Jesus answered, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. No one. No one. So when you're looking at the Christian religion, it all revolves around Christ. Christ, as in Christians, Christ. I love these. I really do. I really love this. So again, you can see how much God loves his daughters, especially the daughters of Zelophehad. Isn't it amazing? God will go to the lengths and the depths just to rescue and save his daughters. Even change the laws. Even change the laws. This is how special you are as a daughter of the Most High God. You are in his royal priesthood, guys. You are in his royal priesthood. You are a princess of the Most High God. You are special. You are unique. You are chosen. And you are very much loved by your Father in heaven. So may God continue to lead, guide and protect you. May God bless you and make his face just shine upon you and give you perfect peace, guys. Perfect peace. Yep. So I just wanted to put it out there. And I just wanted to kind of just show you. Go and have a read. Go through my video again and just have a read about the daughters of Zelophehad. I mean, it's very short. It's not very long. All right. But they are mentioned in, like I said, they're mentioned in Numbers. They're mentioned in Joshua. And they're also mentioned in Chronicles. So go and have a look. God changed the laws for these women. What do you think that God would change for you? What do you think that God would change for you? If you love him, if you love his son, Jesus Christ, he will go to the lengths and the depths just to save you, just to take you in his arms and embrace you, nurture you and look after you and love you, lavish upon you, and you will flourish as a daughter of the Most High God. Amen. Well, I hope this video has blessed you. Sorry about all the interruptions. I think my computer has a virus. It's doing its own thing. I couldn't control it at all in this video. But like I said, my videos have a little bit of humour, it seems. You have to laugh, don't you? You have to laugh or you'll cry. But please don't cry. So anyway, guys, I'm going to love and leave you now. But I pray that you have a blessed evening and a blessed week ahead. Take care of your kids. Take care of yourselves until I see you again. Okay, bye. Bye for now. Bye.